If you are looking for ways to save money for your house down payment, you've come to the right place. In today's video, I am excited to share with you 7 money-saving methods that my wife and I use to increase our savings rate. Back when my wife and I were just starting out as college students, we decided to work very hard and were able to save up a total of $20,000 for our first real estate property down payment. But first off, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to my family's Be Singer Fire journey. In this channel, I share ways to build financial health with ways to reach financial freedom and peace. I would like it very much if you could leave this video a like and also subscribe to our journey for more content to come. Alright, so let's jump back to our first home buying experience. So my wife Sean and I were in our early 20s and attending college at the time we started looking for our first home. The first lesson from our story is that you can start investing at any age, even in real estate. We worked extremely hard to cut down on expenses and save up, plus make more money. But we'll get into that a little bit more later. Purchasing your first home or real estate property is truly such an exciting time. You are not only creating a safe and secure location for you and your loved ones, but you're also buying a property that appreciates in value. How cool is that? Oh, and before jumping into our story, I wanted to share real quick another real estate lesson. It's not about buying the most fancy or luxurious properties. It's about finding a property that will provide you with future positive cash flows. This means that when you look for a property, make sure to look for rental prices in the area as well to compare it against your monthly mortgage. That way you'll know if you're making a profit once you rent it out in the future. Now going back to the year 2016, shortly after my wife and I were engaged in December of 2016, we talked about whether we should rent or buy a home after getting married. So my in-laws are actually landlords in China, and my wife has always possessed an amazing investing mentality. Even though people would tell us to rent since we were just college students, she felt we should buy a home. And my grandpa, on my father's side, was a builder who owned investment properties, so I was very intrigued with the idea of buying a property that could be turned into an asset or rental property in the future. My main concern was that it would be too expensive since we were just college students, but Sean would remind me how we didn't need the fanciest property on the block and we could make it work. Not to mention, it could become a rental property and a great investment in the future instead of us needing to pay rent. I quickly jumped on the same page as my wife that our first property would not be our forever home, but it would be an excellent investing opportunity. So we started comparing properties and locations to find the best deal and place for our future property. Sean found a townhome in a stellar location. The unit was close to 2 prominent colleges. We both felt it would be a fantastic investment property since it would be easy to rent out in the future with all the college students around. That's when we started to seriously discuss how to cut back on spending and save up enough money to purchase it. We had a lot of serious discussions on how to cut back on spending and save up enough money to purchase our first property. Later in 2018, we were able to convert this townhome that we bought into a rental property. If interested, you can check out this other video I made about how we became landlords at age 22 as college students. A lesson I learned back then was how can I make something happen instead of going to the default thinking of I just can't do that, or it's too difficult, or I'm too young. It wasn't originally in my plans to become a landlord at such a young age, but I realized that anything is possible if you work hard at it. And having a partner who is on the same page financially is also very, very important. Success is inevitable if you don't give up and if you're willing to learn and improve. So remember, the sky is truly the limit. Never put boundaries or limits on yourself when it comes to achieving your goals, investing, and building long-lasting wealth. Now let's dive into the 7 money-saving methods my wife and I use to successfully save up our $20,000 down payment for our first property while in college. Number 1, we moved into my parents' home to save on rent. After my wife graciously accepted my wedding proposal, we moved into my parents' home. We were very fortunate to have this option where we could save even more money. I totally understand that everybody's situation and financial outlook is different. We were so grateful that my parents allowed us to live with them rent-free until we saved enough down payment for our first home. Because they made our lives so much easier at the time, we wanted to help make theirs easier too, as much as possible. We would try to do as much housework as we could, like doing the dishes, mowing the lawn, etc. Method number 2, switching phone plans to Mint Mobile. So, you may have heard this before from us, but we love Mint Mobile, and so do our wallets. No joke, Mint Mobile has helped us save tons of money, especially during college. We all know how phone plans can get super pricey with long, frustrating, and confusing contracts. Our friends told us about Mint Mobile many years ago. For many reasons, we are still using them today. Mint Mobile offers amazing plans at incredible prices, with plans as low as only $15 per month. My wife and I only pay $15 monthly per phone plan. Method number 3, having a simple yet elegant wedding. We are also very fortunate to receive help with a lot of our wedding reception expenses from my parents, and then from my in-laws' side, they helped with my wife's dress, honeymoon trip, and some other expenses. With that in mind, my parents and in-laws had a certain amount they were willing and able to spend to help with wedding expenses. So we kept things very simple. We did not go over budget and therefore did not need to spend our own money. The only thing that we had to spend money on for ourselves for our wedding were our rings. But wait, we only spent $150 total. I was surprised, but also very touched when Sean would share with me how she would rather put money towards a down payment instead of an expensive ring. And my ring was $25 from Walmart, but I like it. My wife's ring was a little over $100. According to the Knot 2021 Jewelry and Engagement Study, the average cost of an engagement ring is currently $6,000. This study found that roughly 1/3 of all respondents are spending between $1,000 and $4,000 on their engagement rings. Only 8% of ring shoppers are spending under $1,000. So we were able to save a ton of money on our engagement/wedding rings. We both had this focus to put most of our money into saving a down payment for our first property. We knew our wedding would be just one moment, but our marriage would last forever. Method number 4. Setting financial goals as a team. One of the absolute best ways to help us save down this $20,000 down payment for our first real estate property was to sit down and make the same financial goals. We both really wanted to save up enough money for a down payment and purchase our first home. Then in the future, we wanted to buy another and rent out our first property. Because we had this mutual goal, we could be on the same page when working extremely hard to make that a reality. Setting the same financial goals with your partner will give both of you a direction of where you hope to end up in the future. Once you and your partner have the same financial goals, you will then be on the same page and working as a team and not working against each other. Goals also motivate us and give us a positive vision for the future. When married couples have the same goals and vision, it also strengthens the marriage as a unit. If your spouse is not on the same page financially as you, I highly recommend checking out our other video on how to get on the same page financially with your spouse, where we share 9 tips to help you effectively do that. Method number 5, create a budget and exercise financial minimalism. Determine what expenses are essential and what can be eliminated or cut out. Creating a budget and living a frugal life are essential steps to help us save down our down payment. Having a written budget and detailed plan will make you more likely to stick to your goals when saving up for your house down payment. We hardly ate out, but would instead decide to cook at home. For example, we would frequently make a lot of food, divvy it up into lunch boxes, then put leftovers in the freezer. Doing this was so convenient, especially when constantly on the go. We could just warm up the meal in the microwave whenever needed, no matter at home, school, or the workplace. We also decided to buy a lot of things secondhand, making the conscious decision to not buy brand new. Method number 6. Find ways you can make more money. To save up our $20,000 down payment, I switched from working a part-time job to a full-time job while also going to school full-time. This was a great boost to our combined income. Not long after, I was promoted to a bilingual supervisor with an additional bump in pay. Having full-time work and full-time school is no easy task, as many of you already know, but trust me, it is definitely worth it. Sean was an international student at the time and was only allowed to work on campus at school as a part-time employee, but there were other perks. We both enjoyed discounts whenever we ate or shopped on campus, and doing so helped us cut down on expenses and those eating costs. In May of 2017, Sean and I were happily married and just finished our semester finals. During that summer, I worked an additional job to save up more money for our down payment, so 1 full-time job plus 1 part-time job. Method number 7. Take up side hustles. Another great way to help us save up more in a shorter time frame was pursuing side hustles. I heard about donating plasma for my brother, and then I started doing it in college. You can probably make around $400 a month, sometimes even more, when a promotion is going on. Depending on the place, each donation takes around an hour total, and you can donate up to 2 times in 1 week. It was very easy. I just had to lie down there and I could read a book, do some homework, or play on my phone. So all in all, An accumulation of many small decisions saved us a ton of money for our down payment. Remember that every dollar counts. By September of 2017, we had successfully saved up enough for a down payment and closed on our first real estate property. My wife was 21 years old at the time and I was 23. The underwriting process and everything took around 1 month to be completed. Waiting for the underwriting and everything felt like forever since it was our first time going through the process. There's the normal worries and that anxiety, yet excitement that goes on during that time frame. But everything went smoothly and we were approved. Not only did we take a big investment step, we also kickstarted our FIRE journey. We have become very passionate about taking control of our finances, living below our means, and making money work hard for us. Remember, anything is possible when you work hard and don't make excuses. I truly hope that our experiences can give you some ideas on how you can save up for your home down payment. Make sure to subscribe to not miss out on other videos about our financial freedom stories with tips on personal finance and investing.